Let's start with our first news. Charles Oliveira has revealed that he was originally expected to fight Conor, but those plans never came together because Conor decided to face Max Holloway instead. Speaking in a recent interview, Charles explained that everyone knew the matchup was supposed to be against him, but Conor chose a different opponent. According to Charles, that's simply part of the game, and every fighter has the right to choose what they believe is the best opportunity. Charles also pointed out that Conor reportedly wanted the fight to be scheduled for only 3 rounds. While he didn't criticize that decision, he suggested it showed how carefully the matchup was being approached. Despite missing out on the fight, Charles remained respectful and focused on breaking down how he sees the contest playing out. He believes the opening round will be the most important part of the fight. If Conor can score an early finish or completely dominate the first 5 minutes, the momentum could stay on his side. However, if the fight continues into the later rounds, Charles feels the advantage will slowly shift toward Max Holloway. According to Charles, Max has consistently proven himself in 5-round battles and knows exactly how to manage his pace over a long fight. Meanwhile, Conor has been away from active competition for a significant amount of time. That long layoff could become a major factor if he cannot end the fight quickly. Charles also highlighted Max's speed as one of the biggest reasons he could take control in the later rounds. Since Max won't have to deal with a difficult weight cut, he should remain fast, sharp, and dangerous from start to finish. If Conor can't produce something special early, Charles believes Max's cardio, movement, and volume will become overwhelming as the fight progresses. Even so, Charles made it clear that he has tremendous respect for Conor. He praised him as one of the athletes who helped change the sport forever and played a massive role in bringing MMA to a worldwide audience. He added that the arena will be packed, creating an unforgettable atmosphere for everyone watching. Move on to another news. Conor is sending a strong message ahead of his long-awaited return to the octagon against Max Holloway. While many fans and analysts remain skeptical about whether he can still perform at the elite level after such a long period of inactivity, Conor has absolutely no doubts about his ability. In fact, he believes he is entering the best phase of his entire career and insists that his upcoming performance will remind everyone why he became one of the biggest stars the sport has ever seen. Speaking in a recent interview, Conor confidently predicted that this fight will end very differently from their first meeting back in 2013. Although he earned a decision victory that night, he says this time he has no intention of letting the fight reach the judges' scorecards. According to Conor, the result will be a complete demolition. He claimed that he already understands the amount of damage Max has absorbed throughout his long UFC career. Because of that, Conor believes he won't need many clean shots to change the entire fight. He stated that all it will take is one solid connection before everything else becomes clinical. For Conor, simply getting his hand raised is not enough. He wants a spectacular finish that leaves no doubt about who the better fighter is. Conor also reflected on his own career, explaining that when he was just 27 years old, he already felt he had mastered the sport. However, he now believes he is only entering his prime, despite turning 38 in July. He insists that his experience, combined with years of learning and improving, has made him an even more dangerous competitor than before. While giving Max credit for being one of the toughest and most durable fighters in the UFC, Conor made it clear that he does not believe Max is on his level. He argued that he holds the advantage in every major category, including speed, power, fight IQ, fitness, health, and overall freshness. Conor also pointed to Max's incredible amount of time spent inside the octagon, which now totals more than 8.5 hours. While many fans see that as proof of Max's durability and experience, Conor views it differently. He suggested that spending so much time fighting simply means an inability to consistently finish opponents. In his eyes, true greatness comes from ending fights early, and he believes that's exactly what he plans to do when they meet inside the cage. Move on to another news. Another change has been made to the UFC roster, as welterweight Carlson Harris is no longer part of the promotion. Reports indicate that the UFC has officially decided to part ways with the veteran fighter following his latest defeat inside the octagon. While roster cuts are never easy, this decision does not come as a major surprise, considering how his recent run in the promotion unfolded. Carlson Harris entered the UFC with hopes of establishing himself as a serious contender in the welterweight division. Early in his run, he showed flashes of potential and picked up several impressive victories that suggested he could become a dangerous name in the weight class. However, maintaining consistency at the highest level proved to be a difficult challenge. His most recent appearance came against Jake Matthews at UFC Macau. Throughout the contest, Harris looked determined to turn things around, but he ultimately came up short after losing by unanimous decision. The defeat marked another disappointing result in what has been a difficult stretch of his career inside the UFC. That loss extended his losing streak to 3 straight fights, placing him in a very difficult position with the promotion. In today's UFC, every fight carries enormous importance, especially for athletes trying to secure their place on the roster. Consecutive losses often create significant pressure, and many fighters understand that staying active and winning consistently is essential to keeping their contracts. By the end of his UFC run, Harris finished with an overall record of 4 wins and 4 losses inside the organization. While that record reflects moments of success, it also highlights the inconsistency that ultimately made it difficult for him to remain on the roster. The UFC continues to raise its competitive standards every year, making it increasingly challenging for fighters on losing streaks to hold on to their spots. Although this chapter has come to an end, it does not necessarily mean the end of Harris's professional fighting career. Many athletes have rebuilt their momentum outside the UFC before eventually earning another opportunity on the biggest stage. Experience gained against elite competition can often become valuable as fighters continue developing elsewhere. For now, the UFC has officially moved in a different direction, and Carlson Harris joins the growing list of athletes released following a difficult run inside the promotion. His departure reflects the high stakes of competing in the UFC, where every performance matters and every opportunity must be maximized to remain among the world's elite fighters. Move on to another news. Jorge Masvidal is backing Kamaru Usman to pull off a huge victory against Duplexus, despite the current betting odds favoring the reigning champion. While many people believe Duplexus has the edge heading into the matchup, Masvidal sees things very differently. According to him, Usman is still one of the most complete fighters in mixed martial arts and has everything needed to win the fight. Speaking during a recent interview, Masvidal dismissed the idea that Usman is past his best. He made it clear that he does not believe the former welterweight champion is washed or close to the end of his career. Instead, he argued that many fans have overlooked how well Usman has actually performed in his recent appearances. Masvidal first looked back at Usman's rematch with Leon Edwards. He explained that he believed Usman was winning the fight comfortably before suffering the shocking head kick knockout late in the contest. In his opinion, that defeat did not prove Usman had declined. Instead, it was simply one perfectly timed strike that completely changed the outcome. He also brought up Usman's fight against Khamzat, pointing out that Usman accepted the challenge on extremely short notice, with only around 10 or 11 days to prepare. Even under those difficult circumstances, Masvidal believes Usman did enough to win the fight. He praised the former champion for stepping into such a dangerous matchup without a full training camp and still delivering an impressive performance. Masvidal then highlighted Usman's most recent appearance against Buckley, saying the former champion looked phenomenal throughout the fight. That performance only strengthened his belief that Usman remains capable of competing with the very best in the sport and can still challenge for another UFC title. Looking ahead to the matchup with Duplexus, Masvidal believes the champion will need to fight an almost perfect fight to come away with the victory. He argued that Usman's wrestling, striking, experience, fight IQ, and championship composure make him an incredibly difficult opponent for anyone in the division. According to Masvidal, Usman is simply too complete across every area of mixed martial arts. He even predicted that if these two fighters competed multiple times, Usman would come out on top in 3 or 4 out of every 5 fights. For Masvidal, Usman's all-around skill set, experience, and ability to adapt inside the cage make him the better fighter in this matchup and a serious threat to reclaim championship glory. Move on to another news. Ian Garry has made another significant move ahead of UFC 330 by officially joining Eddie Hearn's Matchroom talent agency. The announcement has generated plenty of discussion across the MMA world, especially because the agency has already expanded its presence in the UFC by signing some of the sport's biggest names. With this latest partnership, Garry is looking to continue building both his career inside the octagon and his profile outside of it. The timing of the announcement has also attracted attention. As Matchroom continues to strengthen its presence in mixed martial arts, more UFC fighters are choosing to work with the company. Earlier this year, Tom Espinal also joined the agency, making Garry the second UFC fighter to become part of Matchroom talent agency. After the signing became official, Garry celebrated the news on social media. He proudly announced that the Future had officially joined Matchroom and revealed that his team had become even bigger. He also confirmed that the agency will now work alongside Vayner Sports to manage his commercial interests and help expand his opportunities beyond fighting. Soon after the announcement, Eddie Hearn spoke publicly about the partnership and explained exactly what the agreement involves. He made it clear that Matchroom is a sports agency focused on representing high-profile athletes and entertainers across multiple industries. According to Hearn, the company is looking to build relationships with global stars rather than limiting itself to one specific sport. Hearn also revealed that he personally reached out to Garry because he had admired him for a long time. He praised Garry's confidence, personality, communication skills, and overall presence, saying he possesses all the qualities needed to become a genuine superstar. Hearn explained that he believes Garry has the complete package, both inside and outside the cage. He also clarified that Garry's agreement is different from the arrangement with Tom Aspinall. While Matchroom has been more involved in Aspinall's UFC-related business, Garry's deal is focused entirely on brand development, sponsorship opportunities, partnerships, and increasing his commercial value. Hearn stressed that the agency is not involved with Garry's UFC contract and is instead dedicated to helping grow his profile around the world. With UFC 330 approaching, Garry continues to position himself as one of the promotion's fastest rising stars. This new partnership reflects his ambition to build a career that extends far beyond fighting, while strengthening his image, expanding his business opportunities, and maximizing his long-term success both inside and outside the octagon. Move on to another news. Colby Covington is once again making headlines after delivering another one of his trademark verbal attacks, this time taking aim at Dustin Poirier, while also promoting his upcoming appearance against Usman. Known for his outspoken personality and relentless trash talk, Colby used the opportunity to stir up controversy with a series of personal remarks that quickly grabbed attention across the MMA community. During his latest message, Colby claimed he had received plenty of reactions from fans regarding his previous comments about Dustin Poirier. He sarcastically acknowledged the feedback before continuing his usual style of promotion. Rather than backing away from the criticism, he leaned into it and kept the spotlight firmly on himself. Colby then shifted his attention to his upcoming match against Usman at Real American Freestyle, which is scheduled to take place on July 18th in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He confidently declared that he would be stepping into the event as America's champ and promised to put on another dominant performance. From there, the trash talk became even more personal. Colby described Usman as someone who had been given every opportunity throughout his career and claimed that his opponent had never truly faced real adversity. According to Colby, all of that changes when they finally meet, because he believes he will teach Usman a hard lesson in front of everyone watching. As expected, Colby didn't stop with his opponent. He also directed comments toward people close to Usman, continuing his strategy of trying to get under his rival's skin before the event. His message was clearly designed to create as much attention as possible while building anticipation for the matchup. Whether fans appreciate his style or not, there is no denying that Colby understands how to generate headlines. His ability to keep people talking has become one of the defining features of his career, and once again, he has managed to dominate conversations before even stepping onto the mat. Now, all eyes turn toward the upcoming showdown. The war of words has already begun, and Colby appears determined to back up every bold statement he has made. Meanwhile, Usman will have the opportunity to answer those comments where it matters most, through his performance in competition. Until then, the rivalry continues to build, with both the attention and the pressure surrounding this matchup growing bigger as fight night gets closer and expectations continue to rise. Move on to another news. Conor continues to express complete confidence ahead of his highly anticipated return, insisting that his long break from competition has actually become one of his greatest advantages. While many fans have questioned whether such an extended absence could hurt his performance, Conor believes the exact opposite. He argues that the time away from fighting has allowed his body to recover, his mind to reset, and his motivation to reach an entirely new level. During a recent interview, Conor explained that he compares his situation with other fighters who have also attempted comebacks after spending significant time away from the octagon. In his opinion, he enters this next chapter in far better condition than most of them, because he has has taken the necessary time to fully recover instead of rushing back into competition. According to Conor, one of the biggest differences between himself and many active fighters is the amount of physical damage accumulated over the years. While other competitors continue to battle several times each season, he believes his period of rest has preserved both his health and his overall athletic ability. As a result, he feels much fresher than many of the athletes competing at the highest level today. Conor also made it clear that he does not view this comeback as the final stage of his career. Instead, he believes he is only now entering his prime. He insisted that all the experience he has gained throughout his career, combined with the recovery time he has enjoyed, has created the perfect combination for his return to elite competition. Beyond discussing his own condition, Conor also took a few verbal shots at Justin Gaethje. Although he didn't spend much time addressing him directly, he made it clear that he would have absolutely no hesitation about facing the current lightweight champion if the opportunity presents itself. His confidence remains as high as ever, and he believes he is capable of defeating any opponent placed in front of him. For Conor, the mindset going into this return is built entirely around confidence, preparation, and belief in his own abilities. He feels stronger, healthier, and more motivated than he has in years. Rather than focusing on doubts from critics, he is concentrating on proving that his extended break has become a major advantage instead of a weakness. With his comeback drawing closer, Conor remains convinced that the best version of himself is still ahead, and he intends to remind the MMA world exactly why he became one of the sport's biggest superstars.